Here in this world, you must know who you are.
Hey guys, so I've finally done it. I have kind of finished my first half of, I guess, the bullet journal. Okay, maybe not first half, but as you can see, I already did my key, which I'm not really liking, but I'm just gonna deal with because I don't want to change it. And let's be real, it takes too long to figure out and go through all those Pinterest photos to decide what you want your key to look like. So let's just jump right on in. I'm going to speed this up a bit. So after looking at a few YouTube drawing tips from a YouTuber called Drawing with Waffles, I'll have her link down below. Now we are working on one of the first few pages. I hadn't decided what I wanted to do, so I wanted to give myself some room to kind of do some doodling, do some quotes, all the things on Pinterest. But first, I was ashy, so I need to put some aloe vera because dry skin sucks. And so as you can see on my computer, I'm kind of looking at different pictures, but it kind of didn't work out the way my phone was set up, so you couldn't see what I was looking at. So just excuse the mess on my desk. So I've decided that I am going to try and sketch out a character and do a quote. I saw a few pictures like this on Pinterest, and unfortunately I am not a professional, so my struggle was so real. It took a while to get the shoulder length done really well, but the bullet journal is a dotted grid, so I kind of counted and did the long lines and tried to kind of just look and see where everything lined up. And so I was looking up on Pinterest and I saw this reference photo that you can look up, and it was a girl holding two revolvers, and I was like, ooh, I have to do this. This has to be done. A while to get the shoulder length done really well, but the bullet journal is a dotted grid, so I kind of counted and did the long lines and tried to kind of just look and see where everything lined up. Here you can kind of see me messing with the revolver ends and closer to the fingers, making sure their joints line up and that they are symmetrical, at least as much as I can make them. I did kind of want one gun a little more chunkier than the other, so I kind of added that, so that could be not necessarily a purposeful mistake, but I just kind of wanted it like that. So another thing I found really helpful is turning the book. I know it doesn't seem like something obvious, but I really was like, why can I not make these lines straight? And I was like, oh yeah, I could just turn the book and fix my lines and everything like that. So I did that, and I feel like that helped a ton, and I'm really upset that I didn't keep the style I was going with at first. I kept changing it up. I kept making one gun longer than the other, the barrel, and I was like, okay, just breathe, figure this out, go back to the reference and look again. see me messing with the revolver ends and closer to the fingers, making sure their joints line up and that they are symmetrical, at least as much as I can make them. I did kind of want one gun a little more chunkier than the other, so I kind of added that so that could be like a I know you can't see this, but I am giving her eyelashes and fixing her nose because that was crooked, and giving her glasses because there's nothing better than a gunslinger with glasses and an afro. Just saying. And now I am looking at it and making sure everything is good to go so I can ink it, and figuring out which quote I want to do for this page and this picture. It took me a minute and a lot of practicing the placement of the words, and then I didn't like them, and so I kept erasing them, and then I found a Bible quote that I really liked and I felt really inspires the whole theme of self-care. And so I'm like trying to figure out if I want the Bible quote or this other quote I found, and I'm just like frustrated. And so I get up, I walk around my office for a little bit, and then I come back. I make more lines to make sure everything's symmetrical, and I decide instead of like finishing her body, which would just give me more of a headache, I start placing my words and just trying to figure out how big I want the words and the style I want the words, because as you know, bullet journals are made because of the calligraphy, and I'm just like trying to get my life together and make a bullet journal that I can actually be proud of and say I gave it my all and I did not half-ass it, not one bit. And so I am just stepping back, looking at my placement, going to Pinterest and figuring out different fonts and starting out my first quote, which was a really long sentence, and I'm so glad I didn't do it. But I was just like, okay, let's just figure this out. Maybe I can like stack it or have it kind of in front of her, but box letters. And so I picked this cursive-ish style block letter font, which I've never done. And so I'm just like, might as well challenge to the fullest, right? And so I'm going to stack it. Well, that was my plan. So I'm going to stack all the words and hope for. after writing the whole sentence, I realized I don't want this sentence on this picture. I'm going to save it for another spread, and I go back to figuring out like jewelry and little stuff, and then I erase the whole thing because I'm like, this isn't gonna work for me. Like, I don't like her arms. I don't like the fact that the sentence doesn't flow with a picture, and I scrap it. So after scrapping it, I decide that instead of just having letters out there, I'm going to do a scroll. So it kind of frames her and closes her in and kind of unifies the words in the photo. But I haven't drawn scrolls since like the dawn of time, and so I'm really like freaking out over the placement of the words and if the font I chose works with the picture and if I'll like it like in a month. And so I end up making up or slapping together, I should say, two different styles because I like the uppercase letters of this cursive and then I like the lowercase and simplicity of this other font. And so I just kind of slapped them together, and I come out with this easy, nice, simple font. And I chose a different Bible quote altogether because story of my life. And I wind up choosing Philippians 4:13, which is very simple and it's motivating and it's just what this spread needed, in my opinion. You're entitled to your own. You can put down below what you would have put for this spread. I'm really curious to know. But I really, for myself, needed this Bible quote there. Like one of the first pages I see, and it's motivating. Now that I have finished the scroll, it is time to put ink on it. And I kid you not, I was so scared to do the face and the hair with ink because you can really mess it up when you don't know what you're doing. And I don't know what I'm doing. So I decided to kind of have fun with it and not ink on parts that I felt like I wasn't confident in shading with ink. I decided to do the hair first because I want it really curly and I want to make sure the scarf kind of pokes out, and I'm looking at Pinterest to reference the hair texture photo I found, and I think it came out really well, you guys. Like, I'm really proud of myself. My hand hurts so bad. My arm is killing me. I went to the gym and had an arm day, and I'm really trying to figure out what inspired me to do this today, as my arm is aching with every curl I do. And I am taking my time doing her glasses, her neck, her eyes. I am debating on keeping the pencil shading to add the depth into it because I really wasn't confident in it. And so I was like, well, I know with a pencil I can have like the texture and the skin pigment that I want and not to worry about messing it up with the ink and all that. And then I started shading her neck, forgetting that I'm inking, and giving her a t-shirt instead of, my plan was to do a tank top. I wound up doing a t-shirt because I love cozy, comfy clothing. It just speaks to me on so many levels, actually. So many. And I needed to make sure that I made it even. And so I did what are those t-shirts that have like the color collar and the sleeves have like little colors on the ends. So I did that. And now I am going in and inking the guns. And as I look, I realize that it's kind of not a revolver, but it is a revolver. Like, one is a revolver and the other one is like a 9mm slap with a revolver. And I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but I'm kind of liking it, you know? I'm down for it. It doesn't look awful. Another one of my favorite things to do is to be finished. And I am losing momentum in finishing this piece so quickly. So I take a break and then I come back and work on the scroll because I'm almost done. I see the finish line and I still need to do the words. And so I come back and, as you see, I like refocus the camera and everything and work my way through the lettering and slowly make sure I don't mess anything up, because I will cry at the end of this if I messed anything up after all of this, you know? And then I kind of like give up on the scroll and I go back in and do some details on the knot and figure out what I want on the guns, because normally there's the brand, but I don't want to put the brand on it. So I decide to put Hakuna Matata, no worries, because like I said, this year is for me. Like, I need to focus on my grades, figure out, booktube and getting older, and life waits for no one. So, and I'm still going in, adding little bits of detail here and there, really kind of making sure I did all the line work I needed, because once I start erasing the bigger parts of it, I don't want to worry about it later. I don't want to go back and be like, oh my God, I should have left that. Or, oh my God, I forgot a line here. I don't want to worry about that. So I decided I'm not erasing a lot. I'm just erasing the arm, the bones pretty much. So I'm erasing all the bones that started this photo, this picture, this awesomeness. And yes, you know, art critics will probably be like, oh, your pixels are crooked or, you know, whatever. That's okay. It's okay, hater. It's okay, because I know I did the best I could with what I was working with. So, booyah.